All right. The next couple sections of this unit are all about word problems. They are very difficult, probably the hardest thing in this course. They require reading a sentence or a question kind of like this one, creating equations, and solving the system of equations. So every question you do for this unit is going to give you two equations, okay, whatever those two equations are, which represent two lines, and you're trying to find the point of intersection. That's why those last sections we did substitution elimination, so we could find that intersection. You always had the equations to start. Now you're not going to have the equations. You have to make them yourself. That's the hard part of this section. So the steps we're always going to do, we are going to write two equations, but before we do that, we have to say what x and y represent. Because they, on an axis, they always represent like number of years or something. Okay, so in different questions, you're going to have to create that. So what do x and y represent? Write two equations, solve by substituting. I'm going to recommend when you do your homework that you just use Desmos to find the point of intersection, because the hard part is these two steps. This, you should have practiced already doing your old homework. You still need to know how to do it, but it takes a long time, so using Desmos can be quicker. And then you need to write like a sentence because it's a word problem. So the best way to look at these is to do some examples. Difference between two numbers is 9. The larger number is 3 more than twice the smaller number. Find the numbers. So the last sentence always tells you what you're looking for. I want numbers. So let x represent first number. Let y represent second number. It's really important to use units, but in this situation, they're just numbers. There's no like centimeters or milliliters, so it's just numbers. Okay? Now, there's usually going to be two sentences. Each sentence is one equation. So this first sentence, the difference between the two numbers is 9. That is an equation. So I'm going to write that. Difference means subtraction. So the difference between two numbers means x minus y. And then it says is means equals 9. The difference between x and y equals 9. Done. Now the second equation is going to come from this one. The larger number is 3 more than twice the smaller number. So this could be kind of tricky to write. The larger number is, so let's say we need to know which one's bigger. When I look at this, x minus y equals 9, that must be the bigger one. Because otherwise this would be like a negative number. So the larger number, which is x, so x equals 3 more than twice the smaller number. So twice means 2 times, so 2y. 3 more than means plus 3. That's our second equation. So now you'll notice we have two equations. You could use Desmos or substitution or whatever to find the answer. I'm not going to do it for time, but you could find the answer, and we would basically say x equals whatever, y equals whatever. You need to say the two numbers are, I don't know, 5 and 7. Whatever they are, I don't know. Okay? That's it. This is the hard part, writing the equations. Second one, perimeter of a rectangle is 40 meters. Width is 4 meters less than the length. Find the dimensions, so dimensions, lengths, and width. So I'm going to say let L equal length in meters. Let W equal width, again, in meters. Units are important in some questions, so you got to write it now. First sentence is the perimeter is 40 meters. Okay? So I'm right away, I know it's perimeter, so I'm going to use a formula. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. That's the formula. Now, I know the perimeter is 40, so that means I can change this to 40. Bam, we have an equation. Okay? The second one, the width is 4 meters less than the length, so let's write that one. The width is, so W equals 4 meters less than the length. Be very careful. A lot of kids will write this, which is wrong, because this isn't 4 meters less than the length. This is length less than 4, which is weird. So less than the length means you take the length and you take away 4. We have two equations. We can solve. Last one. Money ones are tricky. They follow a pattern, and you'll see. So how many of each denomination? So we got bills. So I'm going to say let F represent number of $5 bills. Now be careful. This is not the value of the bills. So if X equals 6, that doesn't mean it's $6. It means I have 6 physical bills, which would actually be 6 times 5 to get the price. Okay? And then we'll say that was F. This would be T represent number of $10 bills. You can use X and Y, whatever, I don't care. Okay? So the first sentence, Gary has a total of $260. So that means if I take X plus Y, will that give me 260? No. Because, or what would we say? F and T, right? Remember, F is the number of bills, not the value. So how do you find the value? Because this is the total value, right? You take the number you have and you multiply it by how much it's worth. So F is the number of bills, and you need to multiply it by 5, because each bill is $5. Then this one, you need to multiply by 10. That is an equation. Now the second one is the easier one, and most of these questions have an easy and a hard equation. 33 bills in total. That's just x plus y equals 33, because we're finding the total number of bills. That's it. So again, now that we have two equations, I can isolate, so I would make this x equals 33 minus y. I could substitute this in, f and t. I could substitute this in for here and then solve and find my two values. These questions are tough. It always comes down to the same thing. Write your let statements based on what the question's asking, and then write two equations. It's always going to be two. In weird questions, it might be more, and then find your two values. That's it.